Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Pin Tool Podcast. My name is Al Wayman, owner of Creek Road Pottery in Laceyville, Pennsylvania, next to the cold Tuscarora Creek. Pull up a chair around the wheel as we discuss topics concerning the art and craft of pottery, good books, storytelling, marketing, and creating work that matters for folks.
Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Pin Tool Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 17. And the year is flying by. And as you can hear, I'm sitting out on a beautiful Saturday night. And you can just hear the crickets in the background. And it's just a beautiful summer night in the beautiful hills of northeastern Pennsylvania. The Tuscarora Creek is running kind of deep. We had 2 huge thunderstorms today. Had some flash flooding on our way back from the food store. We had to help the neighbors cut down a tree that was blocking the road. One neighbor had his power saw, so we got out of our cars and we pushed the branches across the road to allow the rest of the traffic to go through. It was pouring rain. We all got soaked. But it was the right thing to do. And my pops always told me to carry a chain and a power saw in the car in case things like that happen, right? You can be helpful. Battery cables also, and a floor jack. A floor jack, so you don't need to use the manufacturing jack that they put in those cars that nobody knows how to put under the car to jack it up, right? And it's never too high enough, and it's always a death trap because you never can get it to stay, right? So, got the trees removed and came back to the pottery. Mom and Dad stopped by today, earlier, and it was nice to see Mom and Dad. Dad's in his 70s. Mom's in her late 80s. And it's getting kind of hard for her to get around. But I was able to strum guitar for her. She likes old-timey gospel songs. And Dad brought me up his old-timey wheel horse tractor. And I can use that to haul the bricks to the concrete pad that I had made for the wood kiln. So that was a surprise. So thanks to my pops. And he's a big collector of John Deere. He loves John Deere tractors. He has a John Deere B at his house. And he has 3 or 4 wheel horse tractors, lawnmowers, that he piddles around with as a hobby, mows the lawns with it, and plows with it. So he had an extra one he was going to loan me. My Craftsman cart had dry rot in the tires because I'm not a mechanical guy. I'm like a potter, right? So I had to go to Tractor Supply and get 2 new tires for the Craftsman cart to put behind Dad's wheel horse tractor I got now. And that worked out great. So now I'm all ready to haul some bricks where they need to go, haul firewood around. My Uncle Will and Aunt Barb are holding a wood splitter for me. So when I raise the money to get the wood splitter, I will pay them. And they said they'd bring it over. They're holding it for me because they knew that I spent some money that I was using for the wood splitter on a good deal of brick that I got. So this deal on brick would have never happened again in another 100 years probably. So it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I'm sure. I got to call the brick guy tomorrow and schedule another load. I did 2 days of overtime last week at the big paper factory to raise money to get the cheap brick and to have it delivered. So even with the brick delivered, the Super Duty brick, it still only comes out to maybe $1.60 per brick. So that's a really good price for Super Duty kiln brick. So I should have enough brick once that gets delivered. Then I can get the cinder blocks and I can start the construction of the wood kiln. I can start the construction of the wood kiln on already here. I can start building the firebox. But what I need to do is measure where on the pad I need to put everything, because you know how you're drawing in a paper, and if it's not well planned and you start in one area, the rest of your design may go off the page in some strange way, right? You do that every time you're trying to design a Christmas card or something. Like you're doing the fancy writing that you didn't plan out very well, and so you need to write downhill and things so it still stays on the page. So that's a problem I'm having right now. I'm definitely sure the pad's big enough for the kiln. I just need to have proper placement of the 3 different sections: the firebox, the wear chamber, and the chimney. And so that's going to be coming up. Definitely this month I need to get started on it. With the pots, it's been going okay. I haven't fired any pots because I've been busy with the wood kiln. So I have quite a few pots I need to fire out. Need to get ready, as I said before, for a fall show, the Pumpkin Trail. We already had our first meeting, so that was great. And I need to design pots for that fall show. Then I'm going to be in the Susquehanna County Artist Tour, so I need some pots designed for that. And then I'm going to be bringing pots up to the Bill Moon Kiln out in Mills, PA, to do a joint fire with him in the last part of October. So I got a lot of stuff going on, and I need to start early. I cannot procrastinate. Work has been crazy at the paper factory. So with the extra money, I was able to pay for the pad and the brick. So that wasn't a problem. It's just spending so much time at the paper factory, I'm not getting anything done in the pottery as much as I would have liked. Still been doing the Pottery Dailies, every day writing, and that's been enjoyable. That's a way for me to connect and connect with you as the reader. If you happen to read the Pottery Dailies over on my Substack, you can find it on my website, a link to it. And it's a way that I can check in every day. And if I'm not having my hands in clay, I'm at least thinking about the pots, right? And hopefully getting a little bit better at writing. I have over 218 articles there, and every day I'm trying it for a year to see how it goes. So in this episode, I'd like to talk about themes and concepts of your work, because the busy season is coming up, and I always thought that, just like in any movie, any project needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it needs to have certain themes. What's it about? Who's it for? What change you're trying to make. It needs to have a concept. And it needs to be like a story you're telling. Because taking your whole collection on some hero's journey with you and involving the customer in that speaks volumes to the customer. Not only can they share in the story that you're trying to tell, they see themselves in that story when they use your work. And it's a little bit different of a story, the story they tell themselves. And that story is a little bit different from the story they may tell other people if they enjoy your work, right? So coming up on the holiday season, it's always good to get the earliest start possible, and that's what's happening right now. So, in this episode, we're gonna sit on the back porch because I'm really liking the sound of the crickets and everything that is out here. It's a beautiful night. So go get a coffee, and we're going to talk about concepts and themes. All right, so I'll meet you back here. Greetings, friends. Welcome back. And pull up a chair. We're sitting outside on the pottery shed porch, and we're going to listen to the crickets as we talk about themes and concepts for our work and our shows. So one of the things that should be thought about, and it's a question I ask myself, is who's it for, what's it for, and what change are we trying to make? And a lot of times, potters and artists may worry about finding a theme or finding their own collection or finding their own selves in the work, in a body of work, and they ask, how do I have a body of work be cohesive, and what do I need to do? And the answer to that is to make a lot of work. You need to make a lot of pots. Try different things. And over time, that style and that theme could find you, right? So the work starts becoming you, and you put yourself in the work, so when somebody sees that, they maybe can identify it as you. So that's kind of nice because it makes it different to be identified because you're standing up, raising your hand to people who care. You don't need to make pots for everybody. You just need to make work for the least valuable audience and for the people who care. So that makes things a lot easier, right? You don't need to climb on to the latest fad or the latest bandwagon. It might pay off in the short term, but in the long term, it might not be you. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to come up with a theme and a concept within my own body of work that I think, or I believe, people will enjoy. And having that niche audience, I already know who's it for and what's it for, right? All I need to figure out is what change am I trying to make, or what story am I trying to tell, right? So one time, when I was experimenting with the different types of firing techniques and the different temperatures in the kiln, I only made one pail of glaze, 5-gallon bucket. I glazed all the pots for that show in the same glaze. But the challenge was to fire that glaze in 3 or 4 different ways in the gas kiln to bring about different types of change, different types of color, different types of modeling of those glazes that really added something to the pots, right? So out of one pail, I was able to get at least 2 or 3 different colors using 3 or 4 different types of techniques, depending on where it was in the kiln, what shelf it was fired on, and intentionally manipulating the firing, the holds, the firing schedule, the temperature, how long the reduction is, things I put into the kiln. For example, I was dropping wood down the center of the updrafts. So all those different things. And all those different things tell a different story. And if you're doing those, you can niche it down and think about what theme or concept you would like your next show to be. And nothing is more beautiful than having all the pots all set up in your pottery shed and coming in and seeing that when it's put together. So usually that happens show morning, Friday morning, because I was up late setting everything up. And, I come in, I'm still pricing things maybe, still putting up signage a little bit, making sure everything's right, and just seeing all the pots and all the hard work finally paying off, right? So one of the ways that I think about themes, it could be a wide range of things. One year, I worked with texture patterns, where I put maybe 2 or 3 different types of textures on all the pots, and I fired them out in a rutile glaze, so that glaze, or a glaze that would lay into those texture lines and get all these interesting things happening, and just really pushing the firing and the glazing to bring out what I was trying to convey in the pots and to make the pots sing. And I think that was when I worked with the deep texture patterns. That was the 2020 fall show. And that show happened just before everything was shut down. And it was pretty nice. And I had a really nice showing. And the pots looked really nice. I was getting some really nice blues with that rutile, fired out a little bit hot, put some of that into reduction, and I really enjoyed the pots on how they looked when they came out of that show. One year I did bowls and bakers. So I did no mugs. I filled the building up with different types of bowls, different types of bakers, little casserole dishes for personal size, some larger items. Did a few big bowls, centerpiece bowls, mixing bowls, and that turned out kind of nice. People really enjoyed it. So it was more about shapes, color, design, but there was a theme that ran through all of the pots. And I would like to think that they told a story all together if you took time to come and see it all, right? If you've seen it all. Some I messed up, right? And when you do the shows and you do the concepts and the themes, some you're going to mess up on, because as artists, we place ourselves on the hook. We place ourselves on the hook for things that are unknown. We're trying new things sometimes. We're trying things that may not work out. And sometimes you're in a bind and you may not have what you intended work out. So you find ways of dealing with that. And one of the ways I tried to deal with it is telling my customers that if they came to the pottery shed and there were no pots, but only one pot, then they knew that I had a bad time. Christmas 2020, I lost a whole kiln load of mugs. So all the Christmas mugs, I'm laughing about it now, but I wasn't before. Overfired, probably about 15 minutes. Fried the cobalt glaze like almost right out. Everything came out looking black and not very attractive at all. I did have some nice shapes, but man, the glaze on it was looking hideous. Had to own up to it. I went on Facebook Live, told the peeps about it. I was like, hey man, I totally messed this up, and I ended up overfiring these pots probably about 15 minutes, and this is what I got, and these do not look nice at all. So more than a couple disagreed with me. They said, Al, it's Christmas 2020. Those look like COVID mugs. This has been our whole year, right? We can identify. It's just been crappy. So think of some price, and maybe if they're safe, you can let them go, right? So I was like, all right, just give me $10 for gas. it was like I was hitching a ride, like $10 for gas. And I was like, you can come and get the COVID mugs. So I put all the safe ones out, and people bought up the COVID mugs. And they're probably the ugliest mugs I made. But folks had a really nice time with them. And I was breathing a sigh of relief because at least I was able to pay for the gas for that load. So, I think that with themes and concepts, you need to have some kind of contingency plan in case things do not work out. And you need to prep your audience for disaster. A lot of times, potters, they forget to do that because they only post all the things that turn out nice and the beautiful pictures that are staged, and nobody ever shows their cry pile. And that's why I really enjoy Simon Leach and Florian Gadsby showing some of the mistakes that they make to their audience, and that's pretty important. So besides asking who's it for, what's it for, and what change you're trying to make, you can ask also about the story and think about different themes running through your pots. Think about the shapes. It could be you could run the same handle. You can run the same handle through all your pots. And if it doesn't have a handle, what would it look like with a handle, right? These signature handles that you made just for this show, right? Or it could be the way that you're trimming the pots. It could be a show of mixed media. Maybe you're putting wood handles on things. Maybe you're putting metal handles on things. Or maybe there's a wide range of things. The possibilities are endless on how you can create themes and concepts and tell a story through your body of work. So that's what I need to do. I need to sit down. I need to design the pots, figure out what they're going to look like, and figure out who they're going to be for, what they're going to be for, and what story I'm going to try to tell, and what change I'm trying to make. And hopefully I can pull off another fun year in the pots, right? So I'm hoping to have wood-fired pots be a theme, maybe for the spring show in March, coming up in 2025. So that's a goal. I've been making pots here, selling them at Creek Road Pottery for since 06. And so I have a few more years to go to reach my 10 years, but I'm sorry, not 06, 2016. 2016, February 10th, 2016, I started selling pots here under the name Creek Road Pottery. So I have a couple more years till I reach my 10 year. So I think I'm on year 8, right? That's what it would be. 8 years selling under the name. So anyways, those are some ideas that I had on coming up with themes and concepts. And I'm going to have my assistant and chatbot, Amelia Hayes, come in and read you a section of the Pottery Dailies. And if you haven't subscribed to the Pottery Dailies, go over to Substack. It's free. And let me know what you think. I'll send you something in your email every day. And you can read a reflection or a journal type entry. Hopefully, they'll be getting better soon, right? So, thanks for all you do. And I'm going to turn it over to Amelia. And thank you for listening. And hopefully, you're making some beautiful pots and creating good work. Creating work that matters for people who care. Take care, friends. The pots you never made. And I'm going to have Amelia read this for you. Go ahead, Amelia.
The sketchbook lies open on your workbench, filled with intricate drawings and detailed notes. Each page tells a story of a pot that has yet to come to life, a vision waiting patiently to be realized. You flip through the pages, pausing at a design with elegant curves and bold patterns. The clay, still untouched, seems to whisper its potential. Your workspace, however, is cluttered with other tasks, bills to pay, emails to answer, a half-finished mug demanding your attention. The day slips by, and those sketchbook pots remain just that, sketches. You glance at the clock and promise yourself, tomorrow. Days turn into weeks, and the unfinished pots in your mind begin to gather dust. Your shelves, once brimming with potential, now house forgotten dreams. You can almost see the cobwebs forming around those unmade pots, each strand a testament to postponed creativity. Every so often, you pull out a sketchbook and share your ideas with friends and family. They marvel at your vision, and you nod, fueled by their encouragement. One day, you tell them, and yourself, I'll make these. Your loved ones gather around you. The room is silent, filled with the weight of disbelief. It was only last month that you were vibrant and full of plans. Now they stand by your side, tears streaming down their faces. Beside them are your sketchbooks, pages yellowed with age, and framed photographs capturing moments from your life. Pottery was always your passion, but life's demands kept you from fully diving in. They made a few pieces, someone says at the celebration of life dinner, but nothing like what's in these sketchbooks. Decades pass. At an estate sale, a young artist stumbles upon a dusty box of your sketchbooks. For a few dollars, they purchase your legacy and sit down to leaf through the pages. Excitement builds as they recognize the brilliance of your unmade pots. They see your vision and the changes you sought to bring to the craft. To the living, your name is now a stranger's. But this young artist feels a connection, a spark of inspiration. They decide to throw a few of your designs, bringing your ideas to life with their hands. Your unmade pots, once silent dreams, begin to take shape on their wheel. Today is the day to create. The sketchbook on your workbench beckons. If not now, then when? Don't let your projects sit idle. Each moment is an opportunity to bring your vision to life. Take a small step each day. Mold the clay, shape your dreams, and share your creations. Let your pots speak for you, long after you're gone. Don't leave your masterpieces to be crafted by someone else. The world deserves to see the beauty you've imagined. Don't let your unmade pots become forgotten ideas, lost forever. This post was read by Amelia Hayes, AI project planner and virtual assistant at Creek Road Pottery LLC.